The 1920s was a decade like no other in American history. Coming off the somber years of World War I, people were ready to cut loose and enjoy life again. The economy was booming, new technologies like cars, planes, radios, and movies were taking off, and social norms were changing rapidly. It was an era of bold new fashions, crazy dances, illegal drinking, and non-stop entertainment. After a decade of sacrifice, the youth of America were ready to party and have fun like never before. But what exactly did people do for fun in the 1920s? How did they let their hair down and embrace this new, fast-paced lifestyle? The jazz was hot, the dances were wild, and the good times were rolling. This is the Roaring Twenties dancing. Dancing was one of the most popular forms of entertainment during the 1920s. The new style of jazz music inspired lively, free-flowing dance moves that broke away from the formal styles of previous eras. Young people flocked to enormous dance halls to show off the latest moves like the Charleston, the black bottom, the shimmy, and the Lindy hop. Dance marathons became popular in the mid-1920 ES, where couples would compete to see who could dance the longest, sometimes dancing until they collapsed from exhaustion. In the African American community, dances like the cakewalk and the buzzard lope were all the rage. Going out dancing was an exciting chance to meet new people and get lost in the pulsing rhythms and infectious energy of jazz. Listening to music. Jazz music really took off in the 1920s, becoming the dominant form of pop music for the first time in history. The new sound of jazz paralleled the new, fast-paced tempo of life in the 1920s. People would crowd around their radios or purchase the latest jazz records to listen to popular musicians like Louis Armstrong, Duke Ellington, Jelly Roll Morton, and Bessie Smith. Jazz bands would often play late into the night at dance clubs, keeping the party going with their lively horns and thumping drum beats. Music lovers could also attend massive concerts and revues headlined by the top performers of the day. Jazz fused the cultures of ragtime, blues, and brass band marches to create a bold, sultry sound that captured the freedom and excitement of the era. Watching sports the 1920s saw an explosion in popularity for professional sports leagues as more Americans had the leisure time and money to attend games. Baseball became firmly cemented as the national pastime, as stars like Babe Ruth brought in huge crowds and made the sport a profitable business. The first commercial radio broadcast was of a baseball game in 1921, allowing fans to follow along even if they couldn't attend. College football gained a tremendous following, with rivalries between schools drawing tens of thousands of cheering fans. Boxing matches featuring champions like Jack Dempsey became major spectator events. Even golf saw a boost in popularity from celebrity players. Watching sports became a favorite source of excitement and entertainment for Americans. Going to the movies. The 1920s was the decade when Hollywood cinema really took off and started producing feature films to meet the insatiable demand of moviegoers. Stars like Charlie Chaplin, Rudolph Valentino, Clara Bow, and Greta Garbo graced the screens of lavish new movie palaces, seating over 2,000 people. Though the films were silent, accompanying music helped enhance the drama, romance, and comedy. Movie magazines spread the latest gossip about actors' love affairs and lavish lifestyles. Short animated films and newsreels would run before the feature. Going to the movies provided a thrilling escape into fantasy worlds filled with beautiful stars. Automobile rides. The 1920s saw automobiles become more affordable and practical for the average consumer. Having a car now meant freedom to take leisure drives for pleasure. Young people would pile into their Model Ts or roadsters for joyrides through the countryside or to picnic areas. Taking a date out for a drive became a popular way to spend time together. Paved roads expanded across the country thanks to funds from gasoline taxes, allowing adventurous motorists to embark on road trips and camping vacations. Driving just for the fun of it took off as a new American pastime. Reading for pleasure. In the prosperous 1920s, many Americans had more leisure time for recreational reading. Mass-market paperback books and magazines spread the popularity of fiction reading. New fiction genres catered to modern tastes, including science fiction and dystopian stories that enthralled readers. Detective novels, romances, coming-of-age stories, and scandalous jazz-age tales provided engrossing entertainment. Popular authors like F. Scott Fitzgerald, Sinclair Lewis, Dorothy Parker, and Agatha Christie gave readers stories that captured the spirit of the times. For those who preferred humor and captivating illustrations, magazines like The New Yorker and comic strips like Mutt and Jeff provided amusement. Attending live theater in big cities like New York and Chicago, theater was thriving in the 1920s. Spectacular Broadway musicals featured showgirls, energetic dance numbers, lavish costumes, and popular songs. Playwrights like Eugene O'Neill brought serious drama that examined complex modern themes. Vaudeville variety shows continued to attract huge audiences with their mix of comedians, dancers, trained animal acts, and stunt performers. An evening at the theater provided sophisticated urbanites with inspiring stories and dazzling spectacles beyond what movies could deliver. For young women, being a Ziegfeld girl in skimpy costumes was seen as a glamorous occupation. Partying and dancing at nightclubs. As jazz, dancing, and partying came together, nightclubs geared towards the youth scene sprang up in cities across America. Many nightclubs would feature celebrity entertainers and hot jazz orchestras. Patrons dressed to the nines to show off the latest risque fashions while drinking, dining, and dancing the night away. Hidden speakeasies serving illegal liquor also became hotspots for youth looking for thrills. Mobsters often ran the speakeasies and bootlegging operations, making partying an edgy, daring affair. Coupon books would secretly list the locations of speakeasies, which changed frequently to avoid police raids. For adventurous youth, drinking and dancing in risky, illegal nightclubs was tremendous fun. Listening to the radio, the spread of radio broadcasting made listening to music, comedy shows, news, and serial dramas an exciting new pastime. Radios, first powered by battery and later electric current, became more affordable for the average household. Families and friends would gather around the radio for shared entertainment. Popular comedy shows like Amos and Andy kept listeners laughing. For music fans, radio made it possible to hear live concerts broadcast from ballrooms and hotels. The radio brought the world into the home and allowed millions to listen in real time. Outdoor activities and sports. For fresh air and exercise, Americans took part in more outdoor leisure activities, including golf, tennis, swimming, boating, and bicycling. National parks like Yellowstone and Yosemite grew more popular as automobile travel made them more accessible. Camping, hunting, and fishing were favored ways to enjoy nature. Youth organizations thrived, with millions of American boys joining the Boy Scouts and girls joining the Girl Scouts. These groups organized camping trips, outdoor education, and recreation programs. Organized sports provided fun physical activities for children, with neighborhood baseball teams and youth football leagues forming across small towns. Playing board games and doing puzzles. To entertain themselves at home without TV or computers, Americans enjoyed interactive games with family and friends. Playing board games like Monopoly, Ouija boards, checkers, and chess were popular pastimes. Doing large jigsaw puzzles on tables was a favorite indoor leisure activity. Crossword puzzles became a national obsession in the mid-1920s after the first crosswords appeared in New York newspapers. Each day, millions woke up eager to complete the latest challenging crossword. These games brought people together and helped sharpen mental skills in a low-tech era. The 1920s was an incredibly exciting time to be alive. With a booming economy and new innovations, Americans were ready to try new things and have some fun. Jazz music, dancing, sports, movies, driving, nightclubs, and radio offered thrilling new forms of entertainment. The next time you are bored and looking for something fun to do, think about the youth of the 1920s. Their zest for life, creativity, and sense of adventure made the 1920s one of the most entertaining, enjoyable decades in modern history.